The Lunar Overture event of 2023 was the most highly anticipated update in TDS history. The update's hype was undeniable, perhaps because 2023 hadn't had any great updates. It was incredible to be able to get UGCs that could be sold for Robux. Act 1 was released with incredible success, and even Act 2, despite the short delay, was enticing and still fun despite its difficulty. But Act 3 was a different story. Act 1 was a marvel, truly representing how far TDS's development capabilities had expanded, with cutscenes with voice acting and lore, and showing the early days of the entire TDS fanbase's favorite boss. What's not to like? Act 2 was also amazing, bringing the return of Jack-O-Bot, a memorable TDS boss. Although it lacked cutscenes that allowed players to understand the storyline, unlike Act 1, it was still fun to play. However, it did not show how Umbra even reached her current form. They tried to convey the message of how Umbra sent Jack-O-Bot, but it was not conveyed well. The Necromancer Tower was also introduced in the update, and despite the hype, it was a letdown. It was a fun tower to use, but overpriced for what it did. Despite these blemishes, the Act 2 update was still incredibly successful. Why? Because it was fun, unlike Act 3. Before we even talk about the Act 3 update, let's talk about it being delayed 5 times. This was not a bad thing, though, as the TDS community had learned that good updates take time and were mostly patient. Although it did hit everyone's nerves each time Wikia posted a video saying Act 3 was delayed again. But when Act 3 was finally released, it was incredibly difficult and not even fun to play. This left most players feeling disappointed and frustrated. What had happened to the mostly beginner-friendly gameplay of Act 1 and 2? They had expected something exciting and enjoyable, but instead, they were met with a challenge that was not worth the effort. To top it all off, we don't even get an understanding of the lore. We have no idea why the narrator turned on us, and didn't get any idea what the purple binary cubes were. We know they are connected to Lord Exo, but unlike Violent Knight, we never even see him. The only redeeming quality was the new Jester Tower, but you needed to actually beat the event to obtain it. Act 3 ruined the Lunar Overture event of 2023, and left many players with unanswered questions about what could have been.
Hey, Min here, just here to say that I missed a lot of stuff. I didn't mention many problems in Act 3, since I was in such a rush. I didn't talk about how Sledger is required for the event, so if you don't have it, you're basically screwed. Also, when the event was released, it was still very hard and not very fun, but it was at least possible. I didn't really mention it in the video, but Act 3 isn't just ridiculously hard, it's near impossible. This is because of an update that was meant to nerf the act, but because it lowered the spotlight's damage by 60%, it buffed it. Anyway, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I need to get back to wasting my existence to beat a Roblox game.